Hi, my name is Robert, and I'm from Children's Climate Championship. In 2022, I built a bat box with my dad. I built it according to the most specific instructions, mounted it on a pole away from buildings, put in a bird bath, planted flowers that would attract the bugs they like to eat, and sat back to wait for the explosion of bats that were going to come to my garden. Guess how many bats have returned? Absolutely none. When was the last time you saw a bat or a monarch butterfly? Those two species have seen a population drop of more than 95% in Ontario. There are more than 270 plant and animal species that are at risk, and every time a new study is done, those numbers increase. Biodiversity is in crisis, and populations are crashing across the board. I was in Ottawa 2.5 years ago at COP15 when the world promised to protect 30% of the Earth's land by 2030. We cannot sit by and let Premier Ford unleash the environment catastrophe in Ontario, trying to sneak Bill 5 past while we are not paying attention. Bill 5 will end Ontario's Endangered Species Act, destroying protection for endangered species in Ontario. It will allow Premier Ford to create special economic zones that would violate Indigenous rights, where Premier Ford's buddies would be able to break the law and ignore our environmental bill of rights to do things like pave the conservation area beside the Science Centre, bulldoze the Blandings turtles' wetlands habitat, and plow up the farmland that keeps Toronto from flooding. At a time when scientists are desperately begging us to keep 1.5 degrees of warming alive to prevent biblical levels of sea level rise and temperature increases. It would allow Premier Ford to ban Chinese parts for energy components that we just don't make yet for things like wind and solar energy, which would lock us into his plan to expand gas-fired power plants in Ontario, which use methane, which is 80 times more warming to the planet than carbon for the first 20 years. Please call your MP or go to their office tomorrow or anytime you have and ask them to cancel Bill 5. You may think, I'm just one person, what does my voice matter? But it 100% does. I stood here 2 years ago with many of you here today and demanded that Premier Ford reverse his decision to open the Greenbelt lands for development. And you know what? He did. When we all speak together, we are powerful, and I know we can stop Bill 5 too if we try hard enough. Thank you.